What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Small Biz. In today's video, Tuesday, November the 18th, 2025, I'm prepared to put my nuts in the guillotine and tell you that the stock and crypto markets have bottomed within the last few hours. 591 and change on the Qs, the flush on the stops to 89.5 on Bitcoin. So the obvious question of this day is, if you're caught short either of those two, what do you do? And if you got cash, is it time to start adding small? All that and more coming right up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy Tuesday. How about them Cowboys, huh? Quinnen Williams from the Jets. Linebacker from Cincy, Wilson. Oh my God, that pass rush. We've got you fly, Eagle fly, motherfuckers, next Sunday at 4:30. And while there's going to be a blackout here for those godforsaken Falcons in Atlanta, I'm going to figure out a way to watch it in real time, because if we beat them, we're in not only contention for the wild card, but I got a feeling, because that offense of Philly is in the fucking tank, that we might run the table, maybe lose 1-2 games, and quite possibly take the NFC each. But if you're a Cowboy fan after last night, and I get it, the Raiders are terrible, you got to feel better, especially about that pass rush on D. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, my giant cojones, and they are extra large, by the way. Ladies, I hear you, Ma. I'm telling you, though, it's just like, geez. It's proportional, but my goodness. I'm putting them back in the guillotine right now. I'm telling you, that flush of the stops on Bitcoin to 89.5 last night, last trade, 93 and change. In Ethereum, which I even think is a better play at 29.75 or thereabouts, was your bottom. So if you're caught short and you think you're going to see a massive implosion in a seasonally strong time of the year in front of that Fed rate cut, which will happen on December 10th, then you may have bigger balls or more stupidity than I do. Most importantly, if you have some cash and you were shitting your pants about an hour ago, when you had north of 25 on the VIX, the CNN Fear and Greed Index, which is insanely accurate, calling tops and bottoms, got all the way to 9. The fake trade war low in April was 3. And you didn't pull the trigger. You didn't buy anything because you were watching what? CNBC? 80% of those clowns are trailing the S&P 500 this year. And while most of you don't believe it, right here, right fucking here, Mr. Aries himself, right here, 49-0 since August 1st, 308 wins, only 19 losses all the way back to September of 23. That's almost 17 fucking times on your money in the last 2.5 years. And yet I know from experience that not only are half of you going to come and go when it comes to our Discord, pinned in the top comment, the vast majority of you watching couldn't fight your fucking way out of a paper bag. You probably got a fucking pro down and you sit down to take a piss. You're weak. And that's why you're fucking broke. But on the outside chance, there's a few of you, as I said in the Discord, that might be a Spartan. I want 300 people, men and women, that can take a fucking punch, follow directions, and get along with other people. I'll do all the work. I'll keep you from panicking during times like this. That's one of the most powerful aspects of the Discord. We're together as one, hundreds of us. And at this point, I'm not willing to go any north of 300. Maybe we'll create a waiting list, create massive amounts of demand. And when somebody goes out for whatever reason, I'll let the first come, first serve back in. I know what the fuck I'm doing. This market bottomed this morning. It doesn't mean we're off to the races. I think the first half of next year, as I've said repeatedly, in a dozen videos in the last 2 days in the Discord, that the first 6 months of 26 are going to be challenging. We've had 3 back-to-back-to-back years of double-digit returns. That's only happened 2 other times in the last 100 years. The 1990s being the last case. So it's not out of the question that we're going to revisit the low from this morning, take out the 588 October 10th flash crash low where you had the leverage longs liquidated, particularly in Bitcoin, and retest the 575 on the Qs or even slightly lower to have our annual correction, which is average 11.4% in the last 50 plus years. But that's going to be a buying opportunity. And as I said yesterday, every fucking dip, every fake bear market, and we may have a nasty one on the 100-year anniversary when Trump says, I'll see you later in 2029. But that'll be just like 1998, the long-term capital crisis that almost wiped me out as a broker. But fortunately, I bought calls, which I don't do anymore on the Qs, and I made a bloody fortune when Alan Greenspan started cutting rates, only to watch the NASDAQ more than double in the next 18 months before the .com bubble burst. And when we get to 2035 or thereabouts in closing, and we have 60 trillion of debt here in the United States, 10 times that around the world. You got a bankrupt Social Security system, according to estimates, roughly at 2034. You've got millennials and Gen Z retiring like the boomers did in 2000. And oh, by the way, a third of human capital or thereabouts unemployed as a result of many cases of malicious AI, including a declining birth rate. I'm telling you, 10 years from now, you're going to see the crash of a motherfucking lifetime. And it's going to take most of you out, and you're never going to recover. But if you click the fucking link below, I'll get you situated straight. I'll help you make a bloody fortune in the next 5 or 10 years, and I'll have your ass out for the most part before the shit even hits the fan 10 years. And with some of that money, we'll buy some inverse ETFs like SQQ, and there'll be other instruments, and we'll trade our way all the way down to the bottom. And then we'll dump the inverse ETFs. We'll buy back the Qs for 50 to 70, 25 cents on the dollar and ride that train all the way back again. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, always remember, give me 1 or 2 Spartans that I love you. And thank you so very much for watching.